It's Wednesday, September 3rd. I'm T. Waldron, here with my cat, Pumpkin. Do you want to say hi? Yeah, okay, thanks, cool. We're here for a little gratitude with attitude. I'm just grateful for everything, grateful for life, grateful for my cats, even the other one who's not on screen. Wait, Pumpkin, don't go. Okay, she's gone. Anyway, we've been talking about how to be your best self. So we'll do some of that and then we'll do some deep breathing. And just if I don't do it, remind me because it's important. All right. So good morning or good afternoon or good evening, wherever you're tuning in from. Remember to stay hydrated. This is a little coffee with some protein shake. Cheers. That's good. It's a caramel flavor with coffee, so it's like a delicious coffee drink. So we were talking about trying to be our best selves, right? And I realized I didn't really talk about how. So I kind of want this information to be broad so you can apply it, but also specific. So if you want to try it, you can apply the information. So what was the order of operations I used to try to be my best self? Good morning if you're just joining us. Number one, I assessed my situation. And my situation was, at the time I started this about 5 years ago. Go ahead, jump. Okay, yes, she likes to be here. About 5 years ago. Good morning, Ibrahim. I know, welcome to Super Chat. I think you and I are it today, Ibrahim, but I'm glad you're here. And Pumpkin's here too, so we're here together. So what were the things that I used to assess my situation? Good morning, Antonio. So I assessed how I was feeling, and I felt inadequate. I felt dependent on my circumstances. I chose my life. I chose this. I didn't think of myself so much as a victim as a martyr. Like I said, oh, marriage is supposed to be hard. I'm just doing, I'm living my life and working hard and going under the radar and trying to be a good citizen and all this. And I thought it was supposed to be difficult. So I was oscillating between sacrificing and then being upset that nobody noticed how hard I was working. And it was just a miserable way to be because I was looking for all of that validation externally. Let me see what you guys are saying. Yeah. Oh, I don't have a link to send money. I guess I'm not monetized yet, but that's okay. I'm putting this out there as a public service. I hope it helps someone. That's the point right now. And always, but right now especially because there's no income here. But basically, when I was doing all of this, I was looking, as I said, externally, and I was sometimes angry because nobody appreciated how much effort I was putting into life, and I expected to be acknowledged, and that's really you're never going to find that, and if you do find it, you're going to be chasing it. So what I found, I had to completely change those feelings, and I was feeling I would always look around and feel very inadequate, very, everybody's got it better than me, a little bit sorry for myself. I don't know if you've ever felt any of this, but when you're searching for the outside validation, it's not going to come. It doesn't often come. It's very fleeting, and if it does show up, it's very perhaps temporary, and it's dependent on the external. So when we can find the validation within ourselves, that's where our power lies, and that's what I wanted to talk about with you. So what else was happening back then? And I'm just talking about how I was assessing the situation. I was overscheduled socially with church and extended family. I was overworked. I was a workaholic. I was a shopaholic. I was a chocoholic. Yeah, good morning, Selena. Welcome. We're talking about how to assess your situation and then how to maybe decide if you want to continue along those lines or change. And I felt I never was enough, and I never had enough at home and at work, at church, or anywhere. So at a certain point, so sometimes things will happen in your life where I had a kind of a jarring situation, and I won't talk about it today, but things happen. So you realize you kind of hit rock bottom and say, okay, how can I change? I need to change. Or do I want to continue along this line? So that's the question. Good morning, Art. So, well, the first thing that I changed was learning how to establish boundaries. And first with myself. So creating promises that I would make to myself and then keeping them. And then I tried putting external boundaries on things that didn't really matter as much, like perhaps in the grocery store or out among people I don't really know. I would try to sort of create social boundaries that were easy to enforce because they didn't really matter that much to me. And then I would slowly ramp up the boundaries to people that were closer to me, and then people that were very important to me. Good morning, Mumtaz. Hello. Hi, Yassine. Oh, I'm just actually reading from my notebook. I don't have a book today. I'm still reading. Well, I was reading this one, the Joe Dispenza book, but I had to put that aside. It was so fun. But this one I have to get through. I'm on the last 80 pages of Irreducible by Federico Faggin. Genius book. It actually goes with Joe's work. Like this, he's doing the same ideas that Joe is doing, independent of each other. And it's just beautiful. I love to synthesize information, but not today. Today we're talking about personal experience. Okay. Wiseful, good morning. Oh, thank you. Yassine, good morning. Yeah, so I was overscheduled, I was overextended, I was overworked. I felt as though I had no control, like I was just responding, I was just reacting, not so much responding, I was reacting, right? It's like swatting flies to try to get through life. Yeah. Hi, Joe. Welcome. But I had to learn, again, with the boundaries, externally, and then with closer and closer relationships. And I was terrible at it. Like if you've never had really established boundaries with people and then you try to put them in, it's hard to do. It's again like going to the gym. It's like a practice, right? And until you do it a few times and get used to how to do it, I was like an iron fist. I was just like, no, I was just very very kind of militant about it when I first started doing it, and I messed up a lot of stuff. Like I destroyed a lot of relationships that I had with people at work, with people at home. I'm still repairing some of those relationships, but you have to learn somehow, and I did the best I could with the information I had at the time. And I'm working now to repair everything that I messed up 5 years ago. But I wouldn't change because now I know how to establish boundaries in a kind, peaceful way, but still maintain my, my morals or my ethics or whatever I was establishing boundaries for at the time. And it's easier. Now it's part of who I am, and now I just act that way, and it's like just the way that I am. So it's worth it. It's worth the trouble of learning how to do that and practicing it, maybe messing up and then doing it. Oh, thank you, Joe. Have a great day too. So let's see. Yeah. So for example, at work, I used to stay late and finish a project or a task, and I would do it on my own. No one told me to do it. Oh, hey, welcome back, August. Hey, Devashish, welcome. Aw. Hey, Pumpkin, they say hello to you. So yeah, I would stay late. I would put everything else first. So even though I wanted to go home and have dinner with my family, which was terrible that I would do this, but I would stay late and try to get the project done. Or if I was with my family, I would blow off some other things. I was very reactive, and it's when you're in it, you can't really see it sometimes. So that's why I encourage you to, if you can, to take a step back and assess how you're doing. Yeah, we're discussing the specifics on how I kind of figured out who I was and what I wanted to change. Because we talked about that in general on Saturday, but we're building on that idea. So we're going deeper on this. And then after I established the boundaries, so with work, I decided, okay, I'm leaving at the correct time every day, and that's a boundary. I didn't want to over, I didn't want to go over. So I would work really hard, get everything done that I could, and then the stuff was still there the next day. So creating those boundaries with work, I was trying not to be a workaholic. And I just applied all that type of stuff to the rest of my life. I don't know if you've ever struggled with that, but it's interesting. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you agree with that. Oh, Greta, Gita. I'll have to read that. Yeah, I'm gonna write that down because otherwise I will forget. Okay, Gita. Okay. So then establishing the boundaries was first, okay, and then holding them and practicing, and that's a practice, right? And then the second thing was establishing a schedule. So initially, like, I did not like to have too much structure in my life, but I realized that through having a schedule, saying, okay, on Sundays, I'm going to relax and meal prep for the week. On Mondays, I'm gonna sweep and mop my floors and get all the dust out of my house. On Tuesdays, I'll do this. So having a schedule every single day that you try to stick to. If you miss it, it's not the end of the world, but it's good to know. This way you're not thinking about it. You're not like, oh, what do I have to do today? It's kind of automatic. So anything you can do on autopilot that has to be done every week, why not do it? I know Einstein used to wear the same outfit every day. And this way he didn't have to think about what he was gonna wear when he woke up. So that's pretty neat. So having that schedule was very helpful. I fought that initially, but now I really embrace it because it frees my mind to think about other things. Let me see. The Gita is a book. Oh, it's a holy book. Excellent. Tell you about life and how you should take it ahead. Actually, I can't tell you as many people get many things out of this book. Oh, that's so neat. Yeah, actually, what I want to do toward the end of the week, because people have been recommending the Quran and the Gita and the Bible. So I want to take the topic of the week and try to pull it from all these different sacred texts and then share that, like, so that we can look at it side by side. Because I find that interesting when these different sacred books pretty much have very similar messages. And again, that goes to the fact that we all have so much more in common than we realize. We tend to look at the differences, but I really want to start looking at how are we together? How are we the same in similar, So it's interesting. So thank you for recommending that. I'll add that to my list because I have a list of different sacred books that I'm looking at. So thanks. I appreciate that. And then so I automated my schedule. That's really good. I don't waste my resources deciding when I'll do these tasks. And it frees my mind to think about other creative things. And then the other thing that I went to next was minimalism. Okay? And that was cutting things out of my life that didn't serve me anymore. Right? So let me see. So this is at the time, I had 5 closets full of clothes, and many of them were given to me or I thrifted. I mean, I didn't spend that much money, but I loved different clothes. And I'm sure some people have different hobbies where they collect things. I also had a lot of shoes and other stuff. If I was at the store and something was on sale, I would buy it. I would say, oh, this is a great deal. Not thinking, not getting it's even a better deal, so that was a change in mindset I had to make. But I had all different sorts, and then I had to realize I don't need all this stuff. What do you have? Do you have anything that you have that you really don't need that much of? And collections are something, you might enjoy that. Maybe that's your hobby, and that's fine if that's what you're interested in. But I'm finding that letting things fall away that are not important it frees your mind, it frees your space. It frees your life for new things to come in. Let's see what you're saying. Yeah, the Gita would leave it up to you, what you should rest on you. Yeah, it doesn't speak that you're bound to do as guided. Right, and I like that about many of the books. They're just things to think about, possible ways to be. And, I think of people's interpretation of many of these holy books can be very literal, and I intend to look at them as more, um, not like more parables, you know, more stories and ideas than specifics. So I hope that, I'm hoping I don't offend anyone, but I might. So if, you know, if I shouldn't do this, or if you think that's wrong, let me know, because I really don't want to offend anyone, but also I think it's important to look at the different texts over time and see what wisdom is there, and how, again, how we have common ideas and we may not even realize it. Yeah, cool. Thank you. I appreciate that. So yeah, basically when I went to the minimalism, I'm gonna go back specifics with that because this was a really hard one. It was a very deep psychological journey, getting rid of stuff. So I had different types of clothes. I had the work clothes. My mom was a teacher in elementary school, so she had beautiful, colorful dresses. So when I was working, I worked with senior citizens, so I tried to dress really bold and happy, and as I would imagine that they dressed when they went to work so that they could relate to me better. And it was stuff I would never wear as myself out in public, but for work, it was almost like I would put on a costume every day and go and try to bring joy and help them feel connected. And, you know, it was cool. I loved it. Um, and I wanted to be relatable to them so they could feel connected. Oh, hi, Joey. Welcome. And I also had workout clothes, but some, you know, I only kept the ones which fit well and fit correctly and felt good. And then I also had home loungewear, but something I could go to the store in. Like I tried not to have pajama pants with patterns on them. If I wanted to go to the store, it would look decent. And then there was social wear. If I wanted to go out to dinner or, you know, go see friends. And then formal wear events. I had way too many of these. Like I had so many like fancy dresses that I would never wear. So that was my main problem. Because I just like fancy, cute, pretty things, right? Yeah, the weather that we have is the weather that we have. Okay, that's true. And then I would also have miscellaneous Halloween costumes, beachwear, hats, and outerwear. So, you know, there's a whole variety, but when you look at what you actually own and what you have, what do you use? And this can apply to anything in your life, but that for me, that I'm just using this as an example. What do you actually use? What is useful to you? And what do you think you want to use? What was part of your past? What is part of something you'd like to be, but you're not really moving towards it? And then you can let those things go slowly. And these were some of the questions that I asked. Do I need this in the next 6 to 12 months? Okay, not like, oh, maybe someday I'll go to a ball and I'll need this ball gown. No, I let things go. Things that I did not need, I donated, and it felt so good. Would I buy this again today? Most of the stuff, no, not really. Is this for someone I'd like to be or someone I used to be rather than who I am today? That was a good question. Am I keeping this for sentimental reasons? And do I feel good in this when I wear it? So all these things, I had to really get tough, and I was able to cut back quite a bit of the clothes, and it feels good. It feels good to let things go, and then it made room in my life for new items, for new chapters. So that was very cool. So what we can do now, if you're still here, let's see. Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean there. But anyway, let's go ahead and do some deep breathing. So we're going to inhale through our nose and we'll exhale through our mouth. We do this every day just for a little, and if you don't do it with me, please, do it on your own, but that's fine. We're going to inhale through our nose and we're going to hold it and exhale through our mouth. And inhale. And exhale. Yep. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. The last one, inhale. And exhale. Okay. I hope you had a very good day. Okay, I'm right-handed, but I'm not sure what that means. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I would like to thank our moderator, Imran Hossain. Thank you so much, Imran. I appreciate all your help. And I appreciate you for being here. Thank you so much. If you haven't checked out my channel, please do check it out. I have over 400 videos on various ways to be your best self. And we'll continue this conversation tomorrow. If you have any questions, just put them in the comments and I'll check it out and add it to the content for tomorrow, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time during the week and 8 p.m. on the weekends. And Saturday, we're doing a special manifesting magic session. So that'll be every Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So thank you so much. And I hope you have a wonderful day. So for myself, oh my goodness, from myself to yourself, thank you for joining me on this journey. And Pumpkin says goodbye. Right, Pumpkin?